Do you want to turn plain Dollar Tree charger plates into stunning home decor that look high-end but only costs a few bucks? Well, stick around. I have got 5 DIYs for you that will totally transform your space without breaking the bank.
Hi, I'm Loli, and I'm so glad you are here.
For this project, I'll be using one of these rectangular chargers from Dollar Tree. I'm going to leave the front as it is, and then I'm going to take one of these gift bags. This is one of the wine bags that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm removing that cord from there, and I'm going to cut off one of the front sections for this. I'm going to choose to do the very front of it because that one has no folds. And using the creases of the folds of this paper, I'm going to be cutting as straight as I can until I remove that complete section. Then I took that piece and I placed it at the bottom of the tray, and I'm creating indentations on all the edges so I have a guide or where I need to cut to remove the excess. And then I'm going to just trim it off using those indentations as guide. My friend, if you can please leave me in the comment section a comment letting me know where you're watching from. I love to know how far my videos are reaching. Thank you so much. All right, so now everything fits nicely. So I'm going to take some of this Tide Bond Thick and Quick, and I'm going to add it to the perimeter of the bottom of the tray and also all along the middle as well. And then I'm going to position the paper right on top of it, making sure that everything lines up perfectly. Here I'm going to use my hands and my Cricut tool to make sure that everything is adhered correctly and all of the surface is nice and flat and that the paper is adhered in every square inch properly. And using a wipe, I will be removing any glue that seeps through the sides as I'm doing this. I wanted to make sure that nothing lifted, so I concentrated a lot of the efforts on the edges as well. Here I'm removing any bubbles that are present, making sure to go in one direction towards the edges to bring over the glue onto all of the bottom sections. You'll see some areas in which some of the glue seeped out. I cleaned it really quickly with a wet wipe just to ensure that that did not interfere with the finish of the charger. Now we're going to flip it over, remove that tag, and I'm going to take 4 of these little square wood pieces that I got from Temu. They were a little bit bigger than the ones that we can find at Dollar Tree. And I am gluing each one to the corners of the charger using a combination of Tide Bond, Quick and Thick, and hot glue. If I was not in a hurry, I will just use the Tide Bond Quick and Thick, putting something else on top of these and position something heavy over it and leave it overnight. But I was in a hurry, so I am adding hot glue to this. But you are more than welcome, if you recreate this, to just use the Thick and Quick. Just add like another charger over it or something like that and place something heavy over that. So then I painted the back of this with some gold paint, and that is it for this one. Look how beautiful this piece is. I love it. It just looks so elegant. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this one? For this project, I'll be using this charger plate from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum in white chalk paint. Then I took some of this Waverly Antique Wax and this blush brush and use it to apply very small amounts of antique wax on the charger plate. I'm being very gentle, almost like an archaeologist, uncovering some rare artifacts and really being careful not to destroy them. I kept coming over it about 3 times until I got to this desired amount. Then I'm taking some of these napkins that I got from Lady Red Crafted, Miss Katie, and I'm going to cut all of these butterflies out. But I only ended up using 2. But I took each one of them and removed the 2 plies that came behind it. Then I took one of these water pens from Dollar Tree, added some water to it, and I'm going to brush that water on all the edges of the butterfly. I'm going close enough that I will be tearing off the edge when not so close into the butterfly, so I don't risk tearing off the butterfly itself. And then using the edge of my nail, I am just tearing off like a little section all around that butterfly, leaving just small amounts of that other paper going around. But do not throw away that paper that we are throwing off because we will be using it also for this project. And this is what we ended up with once we were done, and I did that with all 4 of the butterflies. However, I ended up using just 2. I'm positioning them exactly as you see there, and then I'm going to take a small amount of Mod Podge and add it onto my charger plate and brush it on, making sure that it's nice and even and that every little area of that section has Mod Podge on it. And then once it's damp, I'm going to position the bottom section of my butterfly right onto that Mod Podge, and then using the same brush without dipping it in the Mod Podge again, I'm going to lightly brush that on to make sure that the tissue paper or the napkin adheres to all of the curvature of the pattern of the charger, and I did this in small sections until the entire butterfly was adhered. And I repeated the same thing with the second butterfly as well. And I also added a thin amount of Mod Podge on top of the napkin as well to protect it. I find that going in smaller sections, adding this, it just avoids the Mod Podge from drying. It also ensures that we concentrate in small sections, making sure that there's no wrinkles and that every inch is adhered. Today's video is part of the Talented Creators collaboration that is hosted monthly by Aurea from DIY with Aurea, myself, Loli from Loli's Creations, and our guest host this month is Gwen from At Home with Gigi. The links to our channels and to the playlist will be linked in the description box below and also pinned in the comments. Make sure to head over to the channels and to the playlist and show everyone some love. And this month we are doing all about chargers. See you there. All right, so I repeated the same process with this other butterfly, making sure that it was properly adhered, just as I did with the previous one. Next, I took this home sign that I got from Dollar Tree. It comes in a packet too, and I'm going to paint it with some rose and white chalk paint. I'm only doing the front of it. Then I'm taking the leftover pieces that I took off when I was removing the edges from the butterflies. Now we are going to use it for this section right here. I'm just going to take small pieces and add them onto the front of this home sign, just, putting them over each other in places in which I need to, trying to do pretty much a puzzle until the entire word is completely covered. And once it is adhered, I'm adding also a coat of Mod Podge to the top as well to protect it. And I continued to do this process until the entire word was completely covered. Once the paper was nicely dry, I'm going to take small scissors from Dollar Tree and cut off the excess. In the places in which I couldn't cut off the excess, I will be using a different approach. I'm going to be using the light up method. That's what I call it. I don't know what it's really called. I've seen many channels use it. And it's just when you take a lighter and you burn off the excess paper, and it just happens to burn off in the right places, leaving a little charted edge as you go along, which just makes this piece look even more rustic. In some areas, it's harder to burn, like areas like right here in the middle of the E, and also in the middle of the O. In those areas, you have to pretty much just put it as you see there. You see how much I burn it in the back. The secret is to split that open and then burn the edges. And in any areas that were just not as clean as you hope, you can always go in with a small nail file and remove the excess. Look how cute this turned out. Now we're going to add it to our charger plate, and we'll be using a combination of our Quick and Thick from Tide Bond and some hot glue. And I'm using the hot glue only because I want that quick adhesion. Then I position my home sign on a slant. Next, I took this greenery. I got this at Walmart, I believe, and I'm going to use the entire pick. But first, I started with 2 pieces. I'm going to cut 2 pieces there at the base of the stems and then bend them over because I want them to drape on the sides. I wasn't quite happy with how the greenery was looking, so I'm just going to be turning the little pieces of greenery around until I have them all dangling towards the bottom of the charger plate. Then I glue them using some hot glue towards the side of the charger, as you see there. Then I added a nice amount of hot glue over it to secure it, and I held it in place until all the hot glue set. Then I took this ribbon that I got about 2 years ago. I haven't seen it since, from Dollar Tree. At this during the fall season. This is burlap in color red. And I created that awareness bow, cinched it in the middle as you see there, and took another piece of red jute cord and tied that bow right in the center. And then I cut off the rest of the ribbon. The tail here was a little too long. I was hoping to add some of the ribbon on the middle, but then I changed my mind. So here I'm just cutting off so both sides are even, and we are going to glue that bow right in the center of the two pieces of greenery. And then we are going to cut the tail of the bows in a slant. My friend, if you enjoyed this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you each time I upload a new video. All these things are free and they mean the world to me. All right, now we are going to take some more greenery, cut pieces off, and add it onto this. We just needed a little bit more. I just felt like the greenery was a little bit sparse, so I wanted to go ahead and finish it off. For this one, I'm taking two pieces of greenery and combining it into one. I'm just adding the greenery from one pick into the other and cutting the base all the way to the bottom of that pick. And then we are going to arrange it at the bottom of this other pick until it looks nice and full. Once I like the positioning of it, I'm going to add a nice double hot glue on it and let it dry. Then we place our bowl back down and look how cute that's turning up, but we're not done yet. I need a little something on that bowl. So I'm going to take one of these hearts from Dollar Tree, stain it with some Waverly Antique wax, remove that excess stain, and glue it right there to the middle of the bow. And I feel like this gave it the perfect touch. But we are still not done yet. We need a hanger. So I'm using a piece of this garland that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just stain it and make it nice and grungy using some of the Waverly Antique wax. After knotted the ends, we are going to glue this to the back of a charger plate, making sure that that home sign is exactly where we want it, then adding a bit of hot glue going up as you see there, placing that jute cord over it, and then I added some more hot glue over that, and I'm doing the same thing to the other side as well. Next, I took two pieces of burlap ribbon that I had laying around, and I'm going to add it over the two pieces of jute cord. And I'm pressing down, being very careful not to burn my fingers. And that is it for this one. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this one? I am in love. For this project, I'll be using this charger plate from Dollar Tree and this bill and stick from Dollar Tree. I love the combination of these two patterns. I'm going to take my ruler and measure the center of the charger plate, and it measured 8 inches. Next, I took this rotary cutter that I got from Temu. I will be linking it in the description box for Temu and for Amazon. Using this measurement, I'm going to adjust the dial on my rotary tool to 8 inches. Actually, first I did 4 inches, which I thought, the circumference of this was 8 inches. Therefore, it should have been 4 inches for each. But with this tool, the number, here you see how I put it on 4, thinking that 4 will give me 8 inches. I don't know what I was thinking. And that will be the section I'll be cutting your paper. Here I'm showing you how I'm testing it out. I'm doing here the 4-inch circumference. I'm just making sure to hold that middle section steady as I make the other piece go all the way around, and look how perfectly that cuts that. Then I'm going to adjust this to the 8, which is the circumference that I need to cover the center of my charger plate. I'm going to adjust it there, being very careful not to cut myself as I'm doing that. Then I'm going to place it in the middle here. I'm trying to figure out exactly what will be the place to put it so I don't waste too much of the paper. And we are going to go all the way around, making sure to put some pressure on both the center and on the blade section of the cutter, and go all the way around. It's very important to keep your hand steady at the center, because here I move it just a tiny bit and I ended up with a little bit of a piece that was uneven. I'll show you here in 1 second. This happened by just having a sliver of movement on that center. So the detail is to keep that center pretty steady so you have a perfect circle. Next, I peeled off a section of the back end of the peel and stick, and I used that piece to place the first corner onto the middle of the charger plate. Once I was sure that it was nicely centered, I pressed down on that section, and then I removed the rest of the back end. If you enjoyed this video so far, go ahead and like by pressing that thumbs up button. Okay, then I smoothen out all the areas, making sure there's no bubbles and that the edges are also sealed in. With this piece, the possibilities are endless. For this one, I'm going to take a piece of jute twine, put a put a knot on each end, and we're going to glue it to the back of the charger. This is so we can use this as a piece of wall art. But this is not the only option. You can also use it as a riser or a tray, or you can use it as a shelf sitter by just leaning it against something or using one of the Dollar Tree holders, the picture frame holders, to position it in any shelf or any flat surface in your home. For the hanging option, I'm just gluing the jute twine to the back as you see there, adding some hot glue, positioning the jute twine onto it. Then I took a piece of burlap ribbon. I'm going to cut it in half as you see there. Add some more hot glue on top of that twine and position the ribbon on top of it. This just gives it a little bit more surface area to secure this in place. And it also gives it a nice finished look. Repeating the same process with the other side. And that is it for this project. Here I'm going to show you how I'm using it as a liner. And then we can also hang it up using that cord. And also we can use it as a tray. Here it is with some decor. Let me know in the comment section which one of these options is your favorite. And let me know also if you plan on recreating it. For the first project, I'm going to be using this charger from Dollar Tree and this vase right here. The Dollar Tree carries another one that's a little bit smaller. So we're going to use that one. And it carries another one that's a little bit smaller. So we are going to use that one as well. All right, then I'm going to take some floral foam from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut it into 3 equal pieces, or at least I thought they were equal. And I'm going to glue them at the bottom where each one of the vase will be. I just want to elevate this a bit because I will be adding some florals to the bottom. And now it's time to remove those stickers from the bottom of the vases. So in order to do that easily, I used my heat gun and I added a little bit of glue gun to the bottom where there was any residue left behind and wipe it right off. Now it's time to add my bases to the floral foam. So just added some glue to the top of the floral foam and added my vases right on top. And I'm doing them from biggest to smallest, starting from the left to the right. Now it's time to come in with some greenery. So I'm going to use some of this eucalyptus from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to just cut them into individual pieces, as you see right there. And I'm going to position them in different areas of the vases. And this is how it's looking once I'm done with all of the eucalyptus. I used one or two bunches to do this. Now I'm going to use 2 bunches of these greenery from Dollar Tree as well. With these, what I did was cut them into 3 different pieces, each one of the stems. I brought up the first set of leaves all the way to the top, chopped it, added a little bit of hot glue at the top of the other piece, so the piece won't fall off of the other piece, if that makes any sense. You can see they are adding hot glue to the top so it doesn't slide off when I put them in. And I did this with every single stem. So each stem that I removed from the pick, I divided into 3 different pieces and stick them individually all around any of the empty areas that were in this arrangement. Friends, I want to take a quick moment to say thank you for clicking on my video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you do, make sure that you hit that like button. That simple gesture helps my channel so much, and I appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much for your support. So as I'm doing this, I'm not having any rhyme or reason. I'm just going to the sections in which I see that floral foam is exposed and where things just look scanty, and I fill it all up. Then I took some of these Dollar Tree candles and put one in each one of the candle holders or vases. But I'm not done yet. I decided that I need a little bit more, so I'm going to take some of these daisies from Dollar Tree. They have like a little teal color to them, and I thought they were perfect for this. So I'm going to cut them pretty short
and we are going to stick them in some strategic places right here, mainly in front of our candle vases and on the sides as well, just to give this a little bit more interest and a little bit more pizzazz. If you're enjoying this video so far, please guys go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It is free and it means the world to me. And while you're there, make sure that you hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you each time that I upload a new video. And also leave me a comment and let me know what kind of videos you would like to see in my channels in the future. That will truly help me make stuff that you truly will enjoy. Thank you so much. All right, my friends, once I was done with these, I fluffed them up, turned on my candles, and this turned out so cute. Let me know what you think. For the next inspiration today, I'm going to be using one of these lanterns that I got from Dollar Tree. They come with the little light already in the side there. So what we're going to do is take some of this black paint and paint it with it. We're going to leave the inside the color that it is. Then we're going to take this charger and this hanger from Dollar Tree. We're going to remove that from the packaging. We are going to put aside all the bolts and screws and all that hardware. We're not going to use it for this one, but keep it for a future DIY. So I took a marker and I'm going to mark exactly where the holes of the screws would have went, just so I know exactly where my hanger is going to end up. Then I'm going to take some E6000 and I'm going to add the E6000 right in between those 2 points. Then I added hot glue in the outer section of this E6000. Then brought the hanger and put it right back in its place. And apply some pressure. Once all the glue dried, I'm going to come back with my nail and remove any excess hot glue that slipped through the sides. Now I'm going to take this blessed word that I got from a pack of fall decor from Dollar Tree and painted it with my focal black ink. Once it dried, I'm going to bring it back to my charger plate and we're going to add it to the top. I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue to attach it. And that gave it a perfect touch. And here we go. This is it. Let me know what you think. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to my subscribers for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. All these things help me tremendously. They help my channel grow, and I appreciate you very much for them. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and join the Lolly D's Creations family. It is free and it means the world to me. For the next inspiration, we will be using another charger plate from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this one that is a beautiful buffalo check. And I'm going to use some of this burlap fabric also from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut a section that is big enough to be placed in the bottom of the tray. Once I check it up for size, I notice that there are some places that is uneven, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim off those sections so I have a nice fit in between the sides of the tray. Once everything fits all right, I'm going to take the fabric and I'm going to fray it. So I'm going to remove some strings from all 4 sides of the burlap fabric. Here I was pretty happy with it. So it's time to attach it. I'm going to use some hot glue to do that. I am adding the hot glue towards a little bit lower than where the frayed edges are so it will not interfere with that. And here guys, use some finger protection so you do not burn your fingers. I have no sensation left on my tips for my many years of arepa flipping. So please use some finger protection and try to avoid any burns. So I just keep doing that until I came all the way down to the bottom of the tray.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you share with someone else who will like it as well, because remember, sharing is caring and it helps my channel grow. So here's the charger. Once it was done with that part, we went to take these beautiful ornaments that we got from Hobby Lobby. I got them for 90% off. They were originally $5 a piece. I got them for 50 cents a piece. We are going to go ahead and remove that hanger, and I'm going to embellish it a little bit differently. So I'm going to take some of my black paint from Folk Art and a small brush, and I'm going to paint all those wood exposed areas black instead. Friends, if you're still with me this far into the video, I am so grateful for each one of you. Please leave me a little rooster or any little farm animal emoji just so I know who you are. I appreciate you so much for the support. Alright, so once all three animals were nicely done on the edges, we are going to distress the metal section. So I'm going to just dry brush some of that black over the edges of the roosters, just to accentuate the silhouette a little bit more and make it a bit more rustic. Look at it. I love how it turned out. We're going to do the same thing with the other two. Once they are nice and dry, we are going to bring back that charger and add in some hot glue. We are going to attach these guys right there to the center. I'm just going to make sure that I have them nicely spaced out. And then I was like, oh, why didn't I remove those little eye hooks from there? So I'm going to remove those off of them, and I'm going to save them for future DIYs. And then I'm adding some hot glue to each one of these and placing them down to my charger. Now it's time for a hanger. So I'm going to bring my drill and I'm going to drill 2 holes at the top of my charger. And here I have a piece of cord that I got from Dollar Tree as well. It comes in a bag of this cotton cord. And I added a little bit of hot glue on each end. See, here's the holes that I created. And with that little bit of hot glue on each end of my cotton twine, I'm able to thread it nicely through that hole and do a double knot. And just like that, this one is done. Let me know what you think. For the next inspiration today, we're going to use one of these beautiful charger plates from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to dry brush it with this Craft Mark light blue paint. I am using one of those little chip brushes from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and dry brush the entire thing, the sides, the middle, until I'm completely happy with the results. And here I was kind of happy. This is what it was looking like. We're going to put it to the side, and now we're going to use this wood piece from Dollar Tree. It's part of the Shore Living collection, and we're going to use the same light blue paint that we used to distress the charger to paint the inside. Then I'm coming in with this, what is it called? Agave from Waverly, and we are going to paint the raised sections with that color. Once it was done and dry, I'm going to take some of the white wax from Waverly and I'm going to dry brush it over the entire piece. And look how cute this turned out. All right, now it's time to put this onto our charger plate. I still didn't like the combination of the seashell and the charger, so I came back in with some of that white wax just to make it a little bit more symmetrical. I think this kind of like gave the perfect amount of dullness to it to match the seashell. Look. Tell me if you see a difference. I did. All right, so now we're going to attach the seashell to the middle of the wood round, to the charger plate, using a combination of E6000 and hot glue. I was somewhat satisfied, but you know what? I said, you know what? Let's add some jute cord to this. So I got this jute cord from Walmart for $3. And this is a little bit thicker than the Dollar Tree jute cord, so we're going to attach that to all the edges, making sure that we go into every indentation of the seashell until we go around the entire thing.
Once I got to the end, I'm going to cut off the excess jute cord, add a little bit of hot glue to the end, twist it in place so it's nice and neat, so that way it can marry the other side and it will look nice and seamless. And this is what it was looking like so far. But you're not ready. I'm not done yet. I'm taking some of this ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm creating an awareness bow, cutting off when I'm happy with the size. Then I'm going to use some of the ribbon that I used for the previous DIY. We're going to make another awareness bow with that one as well. And then we are going to marry them together to create a 2-layer bow. I had them tie the knot with some jute cord. We'll give it another nice little fluff, and then we are going to attach it with a little bit of hot glue to the section right there where the little hole is. And look how cute that turned out. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. Oh, but wait, I'm not done yet. I forgot. I'm going to take some of these little turtles from Dollar Tree as well, and we are going to put them right there in those positions in which I added them onto it, and we are going to glue them with a little bit of hot glue. But wait, I'm not done yet. We need a hanger, so we're going to go ahead and flip this over, and we're going to take some jute cord, tie a knot on each end of the jute cord, and then attach it to the back, making sure that it's centered with the bow so our sign is not lopsided. I added some tape over it to secure it even more, and then that is it for this one. Let me know what you think.
And I have some birthday shout outs for today. For the month of April, we have Annie from Crafting with Indiana Jones. We have Mary from the Painted Peach, Maxine from Maxine Loves Crafts, Christine from Divine Designs, and Donna from the Creole Crafter. Happy birthday, ladies! Please make sure to head over to their channels, show them some love, give them a warm happy birthday, and let them know that Lolly sent you. Thank you so much. My friend, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you enjoyed today's content, here is some more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you again so much for watching. You're amazing. Bye.